we need to do from the regulatory side, from the all stakeholder perspective, to get the industry moving forward as we go by.
Thank you very much. At the outset, I thank Almighty and my parents for this wonderful day. Being the maiden attempt, Logix is doing really well, and I thank the organizers for their wonderful efforts. And it is an initiative by the ministry, and I'm happy to express the views which are required today. Basically, India is fastest growing economy, and a lot of FDIs are coming into the country in the last 4 years, and it is the largest as far as Southeast Asia is concerned. With all this and other developments like Make in India, Digital India, and of course the ease of doing, moving up in the ranking. Also talking about single window clearances and the World Bank's assessment of logistics performance index, again moving up in the ranking. Everybody is looking at India as an important investment destination, and particularly for logistics. I was only thinking a small story where the logistics or the freight forwarder stands in India today. A man was chased by the tiger and he was running for his life. At a distance, he saw a huge pit. He wanted to jump into the pit to save his life. But unfortunately, when he looked into the pit, there was a poisonous snake in its full form. Then he did not know what to do. He looked up, find a root hanging. He jumped onto the root and he was holding on to it. And so he looked down, the tiger was waiting, and down that pit, the snake was there. And looked up, drops of honey was falling down, and he opened up his mouth, started enjoying the honey. Dear friends, today, a Indian logistics operator is being chased by, like a tiger, many challenges, including, as he mentioned yesterday, for want of capital. And then when we are running, the snakes are waiting. I wouldn't say international companies are snakes, but then they have so much of competitive power, they are waiting to bite us, in the sense to take over. Above all, I see only one route. The route is our government, I would say Commerce Ministry. We need their support in all respects, and I find nowadays they are very proactive. But like honey falling into the mouth, we are all waiting for solid investments from outside to build and to cater to the requirements of all the multinational companies who have come into India. So this clear story shows that where we stand. And only two important points I would say. Post GST, there is redefining of warehousing strategies are taking place, which means we need large-scale warehousing with huge investments in order to attain the economies of the scale. Otherwise, the logistics cost cannot be reduced because every multinational company wants that to make things to tailor-made. More importantly, you would have read, the big e-commerce companies are coming in requiring a lot of procurement center and distribution channels. This also requires huge funds. And it is more relevant today that we need more foreign investment into this country in these areas. And number two, as you all know, the critical factors of our logistics. Logistics, now it's a very, very complex, and that is why I suggested to many conferences, create a logistic ministry. Make a logistic minister for this industry because it is one of the most developing with an average growth of 15% year on year. And you're talking about more than 300 billion in a couple of years. So in such a case, the amount of importance we need to give. So the critical factors, you take the road, railways, you take airways, coastal shipping, and also the waterways. All these areas, infrastructural developments are happening, but only in India, there is an over-dependence on the road transport, which occupies 60%. Whereas, if you take railway traffic, it is only 32%. And if you take coastal and waterways, and of course airways, the balance percentage. If you really want to have an impact on our GDP and reduce the logistics cost, the waterway transport is the only solution, I would say. Because when you do the road transportation, it costs you more than 1 rupee per kilometer. When you do it by rail, it is around 50 paise. When you do it by water, by coastal, it is less than 30 paise. See the amount of saving in logistics cost, if you could, with a kind of 7,517 kilometers coastal way, if you could increase this coastal shipping and also the waterway traffic, which government is taking a lot of efforts, we are going to reduce the cost to below 30%, 30 paise, which is a tremendous saving, and also the lead time is reduced. This is the second important point. The third important point is that, as mentioned yesterday, we are all having the shortage of skilled manpower. In fact, there is no structured education for logistics in India. Everybody is talking about logistics in IIM, everybody is talking. But nobody has come into the picture of a comprehensive logistics educational solution. In fact, when I started my academy, I really wanted to make it a practical oriented because I have hands-on to all of the logistics sectors. When I wanted, I just took 8 logistics jobs and made about 14 subjects for these 8 jobs. Then I added 4 or 5 humanities to make sure that this education is comprehensive, and thereby these boys who are studying in the academy, wherever it is, when they come into the job, they don't have to have 1 more year of on-the-job training. This is very, very important. Today, a lot of engineers, the biggest challenge for our country is every year so many lakhs of engineering students are coming out. And we are facing this unemployment that is going to be because the demography advantage should never become a demographic danger for us. For that, logistics industry is one of the major solutions. Already we are employing more than 45 million people. So I have even appealed to the Human Resource Ministry. Why can't you make logistics as an independent subject, making it as an university, like any other university, AICT approval can be given so that they form independent institution, issue their own certificates by maintaining the quality standards like any other university. So the time will come, like IIT. I visualize, my vision is that the logistics not only offers hardware but also software to our people. and provides, with the incoming of e-commerce, last mile connectivity, provides huge employment opportunity for which we need, as our Prime Minister has clearly brought in the concept of Skill India, we need this very, very importantly. I hope you will understand the last point. I was sorry to take 1 minute. So the last important point is that the confidence level. This is what yesterday I was wanting to talk to the Commerce Minister, because it is jointly conducted by the Commerce Ministry. They must have this important idea into their minds. The confidence of one of the, a couple of years back when I was addressing in Düsseldorf conference, there were about 400 delegates were there. So I was only feeling the confidence level is coming up with India. But then, when the policy changes are happening, for example, people like us, we have invested huge money in creating CFSs and ICDs with huge infrastructure investment. Sometime back, you would have heard direct delivery from the ports were allowed. Of course, it is very important. The concept is good, because at the end of the day, we are all wanting to reduce the overall logistics. Everybody is talking about 14%, on the GDP and so on. Every saving is going to have a great impact on GDP. All that correct. But then when you have created certain logistics solutions, you are supposed to support it or at least balance it. So what is required is direct delivery in the last about 6 months' time has affected all the CFS, and some of the CFS have been closed. To create a CFS is required 150 crores. To create an ICT required 250 crores. And people like us, we have invested huge money. I have taken up with the government. So I have given them different solutions. And they also found it is not possible to cater to the requirements of many of the manufacturing companies to have the direct delivery. It has to come to the CFS. But only thing is how you can balance it. You can have a regulatory authority to streamline the tariff levels to ensure that our customers get the best rates, so that there is no compromise on the logistics cost. So this is very, very important, because when huge companies are coming into India to invest into the logistics, particularly in future it is going to happen, there must be a status to this industry, and policy stability has to be in this industry. And you all know that we need to keep on improving our technology platform, either technology adaptation or technology upgradation. This has to be constantly done. If we have not done it, then we go behind, and we may not be able to grow as we envisaged. So dear friends, I would like to end this with a small note. You see, a doctor was conducting a survey, and his survey was how many months you can use the toothbrush. So he asked a Chinese guy, he said, I use it for about 4 months. Then an American replied, I use it for about maximum 3 months. Then Indian looked at him and replied, I use it normally for 6 months. Then he never stopped with that. He said, after the 6 months, I used the brush to put a dye on my hair, also to clean my ornaments. He never stopped with that. He said, after that, when the bristles are gone with the brush, I use it for pushing the thread into my pajamas. This is what the uniqueness of India, that is thinking out of the box. If we need to call for huge investments into this country, we need to think out of the box and give them the required trust and confidence, and I am sure we will be successful. If you want to be the best, you are always the best, and you are always the best. And you are if you want to be the best, you are number one. And if you want to be unique, you should be only one. And as Indians, in the last 1 decade, because I have seen the most traditional period, the medieval period, the last more than 3 decades. And as of now, I'm seeing the most advanced period. And we are really growing in a very, very positive way. What we need, as I mentioned in the beginning, complete governmental support, regulatory support, and proper investments, and proper status for this industry. If this could be given, I am sure more foreign investments will flow in, and there will be no depth of growth for this industry. Because, as you all know, I was mentioning to him, I only know how hard this industry is. With the 20,000 rupees, with the 5 people, after my 4 postgraduate qualifications, when I started in 1984, I had to stand before the customs officer in the group to take my customs paper and do everything manually, including filling up my harbor application in the carbon paper. And almost 10 years I was in various motorbikes, and how difficult it is to go for a delivery and how cumbersome the processes were. And today, you are all fortunate to have this technology, digital platform, and things are happening so fast and so easily. And we should be very thankful to our authorities, and all the more now, the time has come, we have to develop our group. Thank you very much.